Why is your husband obsessed with respect? Why are men obsessed with respect? How can you go from being a girlfriend to being a wife? Now, if you're a lady, you're probably thinking, oh, respect goes both ways. No. This video isn't about pointing the finger at what the man needs to do. It's about looking within and being accountable for what I as a lady can do to improve my relationship, improve my marriage, and get what I want. Now, whenever we're ladies, we're like, oh, men need to understand us. They need to understand our hormones. They need to understand our emotions. They need to be patient with us. We always put demands on our men, but we don't give them the same thing. Like if a man tells you, I need respect, we're like, ugh, earn it. No. If you were tired and you were on your menstrual cycle and you needed some chocolate, your husband isn't going to come and tell you, earn it. No, he's going to go do it because he loves you. So if you love your man, this is the video for you. If you don't love your man, Allah help your man. Okay? Now let's talk about respect. Number one, Allah already told us that the right of a husband is to be obeyed and respected. In the Quran, Allah said, الرجال قوامون على النساء بما أنعم الله عليهم. This basically means the men are the leaders of the women because Allah has given them characteristics and traits that make them good leaders. He blessed them with something that He didn't bless us ladies with. It's not an attack on you. It's not to be like, ugh, I'm not the same as men. We have to be the same. No, we're not. We're not the same. We're different. And that's okay. God made us different. Now your husband has some characteristics and traits that you as a wife can help him develop and become the greatest leader in the world. But it starts with respecting him. Allah doesn't say respect him if he provides, respect him if he loves you, respect him if he listens. He says respect him. The first thing you need to understand about respect is the way you communicate with your husband. Drop the sarcasm. Drop the moodiness, drop the attitude, drop the face. Even if you're silent, I've been talking to couples that call and book a call. They want to be coached. And I'm there talking to a husband and wife on screen. I see both of them. And as the husband is talking, the wives are always like all types of faces. You can see there's a dialogue going on inside of the lady's mind. A very disrespectful one because their faces are screaming disrespect. And they're like, I didn't say anything. I didn't disrespect him. But it's like, it's your body language. It's not just your words. It's how you say it. It's your tone. It's the level of passion. Maybe a lot of women say, well, I'm passionate. I can't have emotions. You can have emotions. Your husband has emotions. Your kids have emotions. But you're an adult. That doesn't mean I unleash negative emotions onto my man and then tell him to deal with it. But I don't do the same. If he was yelling at me, I'd cry and I'd be upset. But if I yell at him, he has to take it. Come on now. We have to grow up in our marriages so that we have mature marriages and respectful marriages. And I promise you, you give your husband the respect that he's asking for, he will give you the world. If you are feeling like a fire, we're ladies, we're emotional, that's okay. Take a step. Go make sure first that you ate, you slept, your basics are covered, you're not exhausted, you're not frustrated, breathe, meditate, pray. All of these things help calm us regularly, on the regular. This should be something you should incorporate in your life. But when you come to talk to your husband, come with a strategy. Okay, ladies, come on. It's 2025 almost. You gotta be strategic when you talk to your man. Make sure the man has food in his belly. You don't want him hangry. Make sure his intimacy has been taken care of. You want him in a good mood, not moody. Make sure that he's chilling. He's not stressed from work or the kids. Or make sure it's a good time. In fact, if you understand the hormone cycle of a man, you'll know that the best time to talk to your husband is in the afternoons, right? Because early morning, his hormone levels are not the best for conversation. They're great for intimacy. Late at night, he's burnt out. He's exhausted. He does not want to have heavy conversation. But in the afternoon, his hormone levels are just right to talk to him about an issue or whatever. Granted, you've come in with that strategy that I told you. Make sure he's good and then talk to him. And this is for women that actually want to get a result from their husband. If you're not trying to get results from your man, you're not trying to get something from him, you're not trying to communicate and have a good relationship with him, don't do any of this. But if you actually want to have a good marriage, do what I'm telling you. So number one, communicate with him. Number two, figure out a strategic way of when and how to communicate to him. Make sure that you've covered and your responsibilities towards your husband are all covered. You've taken care of everything. And then talk to him. Practice talking kindly to your man. You know, I don't know when a lot of ladies in their marriages have built this habit of being just mean. just mean. They have resentment towards their husband. Maybe they resent having to take care of the kids, or they resent having to clean or cook, or there's issues that they've had in the past that they just hold on to it in their hearts. Forgive. I did another video about how to avoid divorce. You should go watch that video. But learn to forgive your man. Don't hold things so tightly. Allah put mawadda and rahmah between you guys so that there's like a magical type of love between you that'll make things easier. So communicate with him with respect. Be strategic. Pay attention to your own emotions. Like figure out if you are resentful. Unpack that. Unpack what it is in your soul that's like eating at you, because that's all like wood for the fire for the devil. Right? The devil will come and remind you of stuff that you're holding on in your soul so that you keep fighting with your man. And you don't want to do that, because that's the pinnacle of disrespect. Another big mistake ladies make is disrespecting their husband by babying him. You are not his mother. That means you do not speak to him in any type of tone. You do not demand or command of him. You do not belittle him like you belittle your kids. You don't criticize him. All the things that you would do to a child, you don't do to your husband. Even if you're frustrated, even if you've asked him to do something a million times, even if you see that he's about to make a mistake, that maybe you know better, he didn't ask you. Trust me, he doesn't need you to mother him. He does not want it. You can nurture your husband. There's a difference between nurturing him and mothering him, but do not mother your husband. Stop always. Before you do something, ask yourself, is my husband smart enough to figure this out on his own? Answer is yes. Even if you're thinking no, the answer is yes. He is smart enough. Like, give him the credit where it's due. Yes, he relies on you for a lot of things because you're his wife, and that just naturally happens when you get married. You rely on your spouse. But that doesn't mean that he's a helpless child. He's not. He can take care of himself. He can take care of the things that he needs to take care of. So watch. If he's asked you to do something, that's fine. But if he didn't ask you for something, please don't go and do all this extra stuff that he's not asking for. Just do the things that he does ask for. Respect, intimacy, and whatever else your man is asking for. I'll give you an example of how you mother your husband and it's annoying and unnecessary. Like, imagine that you guys decided you're going to clean the house together. And he's like, okay, he's going to vacuum. He goes to vacuum. You're doing something else. You look at him vacuuming. You're hovering. And then you go over and you like nitpick and tell him he missed the spot. He didn't empty the vacuum. He didn't do this right. He didn't do that right. And it's just a list of like everything wrong that he did. Or maybe he did the laundry. And you're like, oh, why did you mix the colored and the whites? And you win at him. Or maybe your guys are driving and he's about to turn, but he missed a turn. The GPS told him he missed a turn, and you tell him he missed a turn. There's stuff that's unnecessary. It's annoying. I hate even saying it's mothering, because motherhood is to teach your child to be independent and not need you. This is like a level of disrespect that is eating a lot of husbands. You know what happens in these relationships? The men just stop helping altogether. They just stop doing anything with their wives, because every time they're around their wife takes it as an opportunity to nag and criticize and just belittle them. Nobody wants to be around that, ladies. Nobody. Even you as a wife. If your husband was on your head everywhere you go, do this like that, do that like that, do that like, you would hate it. So don't do it. Stop doing that, okay? Stop mothering your husband. You're not his mom. Respecting your husband in public. And that means respecting your husband around your kids, around people that aren't you and your husband, around outsiders. You have to learn to be aware, okay? Sometimes, ladies, we're so used to just speaking what's on our mind that we're not aware of what's around us. But when you are with your man, you have to change this habit. You have to grow up. You have to be aware of how you're talking to your husband, what you're saying to him. Even if he makes a mistake in front of people, you don't need to correct him in front of people, whether it's kids or strangers. Do that stuff in private. That's part of respecting him. Like, don't try to embarrass him or make a joke at his expense when you're around other people because you think it's funny, or some other wives treat their husbands like that. That's not something you want to be picking up. So just overall, pay attention to your behavior when you are outside with your husband and when you are outside without your husband. Part of respecting him is how you behave when he's not around. Are you just like talking to every man you see? Are you like laughing and joking around about your husband and behaving in certain ways that are just not good for a wife to behave in? I don't need to like specify. You understand. So if you are out without your husband, act like you would whether he's there or not. Ultimately, respecting your husband is just treating him like he's your boss. It's the best analogy and it works perfectly for your marriage because the way you treat your boss is the way you'll treat your husband. You know, you give them the best of yourself. If your boss gave you an assignment and said, I need this on Monday, you would drop everything and prioritize that. If your husband asks you for something, same thing. Drop everything and take care of your husband. Don't be negative. Don't show your boss all the bad things you've done. You kind of figure them out, find a solution for your problems, and then present it to your boss. Same with your husband. Don't unload problems onto him. He's already thinking about a lot of issues that he doesn't share with you, he doesn't complain to you about. He'll hold on to those things, figure them out, and then come talk to him. You know, listen to him. Let him teach you. Don't compete with your husband. You're a woman, he's a man. You guys aren't in the same lane. You're not in the same competition. You're actually there to help each other. You're one. So the way you treat your husband, the way you want to see the world treat him is the way you should treat him. Because if you prioritize him, you respect him, you put him up on that pedestal, that's like you're putting yourself up there. You guys are one. You're one unit. You're respecting him, you're respecting yourself. You have to understand that at the end of the day, you guys are one. So take care of your man, inshallah. Make dua that Allah helps you serve him better, submit to him easier, have a better relationship with him. Work on yourself. If you need more help, you can book a call with me, talk to me directly at my website, collectivelymarried.com.